He hoarded bars of gold, and now Democrats are leaving him cold. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez in court for the first time and pleading not guilty to federal bribery charges. The feds say this sleazy senator traded political favors in exchange for wads of cash, a Mercedes-Benz, and bars of gold. At least 30 Senate Democrats are calling on him to resign, but it sounds like Bobby ain't going anywhere.
Why aren't you resigning?
Why won't you resign, sir? Senator Menendez?
Because I'm innocent. What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah. Dirty Bob may not be the only bribe-loving Democrat in town. House Republicans say Hunter Biden was wired $250,000 from China back in 2019 and listed Joe Biden's Wilmington home as the beneficiary address. Judge, you are aching to respond.
Yes, I am very upset with the Senate Democrats. They are not giving Gold Bar Bob Menendez the presumption of innocence to which he is entitled. This man deserves to keep his seat. The public will decide whether he should leave. And let me tell you why the Cuba defense is a good defense, okay? First of all, the evidence may seem overwhelming, but I caution these Democrat senators. The truth is that the United States Supreme Court is very open to defense arguments when it comes to the issue of corruption and public officials. We know that from Jack Smith's last prosecution of Governor McDonald from Virginia. The truth is there's got to be a quid and a quo. Okay, we got the quid, we got the gold bars, we've got the cash, we've got all that evidence. But what is the quo? The United States Supreme Court has said that the pro must be a formal exercise of government power. Calling up someone is not a formal exercise of government power. You know, just saying, listen, do my friend a favor is not a formal exercise of government power. So the reason, by the way, that these Democrats who are willing to let criminals out with no bail but want this senator out of the Senate is because the Senate is so close and they're afraid he's going to lose. The truth is that the New Jersey Democrats, the last time he was indicted, they wanted him to stay. That's because the difference was so big, his remaining there wouldn't make a darn bit of difference. But I want you to think about one thing. They've got fingerprints on gold bars. They've got fingerprints on envelopes. They've got all kinds of evidence. Quid, we don't have the quo. But they couldn't get fingerprints off a glassine bag with cocaine in it in the White House. It's just a question of who they want.
You know, Martha, this story, this Hunter Biden story, the $250,000 bribe sent to Joe's house, this is not a smoking gun, as CNN used to say every day about Russian collusion. This is a bona fide neutron bomb. But again, it's not the journalists who chased this story. On the contrary, they tried to bury this story. This is a story that had to come out through Republicans.
It's because they're too busy saying there's no evidence. There's no evidence. Don't you know there's no evidence? It's like, shut up for 2 seconds and let's look at this story. Let's see if there's something behind it, because that's what we do. You know, this is $250,000 that went from this Chinese company that is very closely connected to the Chinese government. And the money went to Hunter Biden, and he put as his address the Biden home in Delaware, okay? So this is money that showed up at then candidate for president Joe Biden's home at that time. He's running for president. Meanwhile, he's turning around and saying, you know, I have no anything about my husband, about my son's business dealings. China. He scoffed during the debate that we don't have any connection to China. We're not getting any money from China. Now, Abby Lowell came out and said, essentially, that he came out and said that this was a loan that was given from BHA, or BHO, I think the company is called, that it was a loan, and that the only reason that he gave that address at the Biden home was because it was the only permanent address that he had at that time. However, Hunter Biden had a California address, which was on a number of these documents. So he did have another address, but it went to Dad's house. Just go back one more time to the email, which is, I think, the touchstone of this whole story, which is Hunter Biden saying, I hope, you know, you don't have to, I won't ask you to give me 50% when you have to pay for everything for this whole family.
Jesse, where are all the chuckleheads that chase the phantoms of Russian collusion? And this is the biggest, this is the biggest story. You have a president, when he was running, getting $250,000 from China sent to his house. How is that not, like, he's got to go to jail?
Greg,
lock him up.
Greg, China is not bribing the Bidens. They are just loaning the Bidens money. Come on, man. It's just like if After Trump announced he was running for president, he comes down the golden escalator, and all of a sudden the Russians loan Don Jr. $250,000 and then happened to use Trump Tower as the address for the wire. That's not suspicious at all. I love this line from the new stuff that just came out. Hunter even referred to access to his father as the keys to my family's only asset. Oh, God, this is good. And even more, how about this? How about Joe Biden hosts 2 Mexican billionaires at his house in Washington, D.C., and then flies his son to Mexico City, and they come back with a bag of cash? What is that called? What is that called? It's called corruption.
You know, Jessica, last word to you. Feel free to make it about
Generous.
me.
I really liked your read.
Thank you.
How you went through that, because it was a long read. And sometimes I struggle with those things. Okay. I think that we all know how wire transactions work. So when you fill out the information of who you're wiring it to, you don't write big guy's house, Wilmington, Delaware. You put in your account numbers, right? It goes to Hunter Biden's account. And James Comer knows this. He also knows that Hunter Biden's personal account, which was with Wells Fargo, had been registered in Wilmington, Delaware. He, by the way, moved back in with his parents, as many grown men do when they get divorced, in 2017. So not only did he have his bank account registered there, he had his personal credit card, his Apple account, and his driver's license was a Delaware.
So you can bribe the son of the presidential candidate. That's fine.
First of all, this is going on that entire period when Joe Biden was not a candidate.
It was 2019. He'd already announced.
Yeah, I actually checked the dates.
He'd
On the
announced.
announcement. The money went to Hunter Biden. When you have the money going to Joe Biden, then you're going to have progress
So you can
on
bribe
this.
the family members.
And James Comer, again, is misrepresenting this case completely to the American public, because he wrote a letter to the White House in January making it clear that he knew that Hunter Biden's home address during this period was in Delaware. And I would add that Republicans are going to continue embarrassing themselves. Like the latest one, Congressman Jason Smith, I think he's from Missouri, this afternoon was giving a press conference where he laid out a timeline that, of course, was completely false. And an NBC reporter held his feet to the fire about it. And then he had to finally back down after he sputtered all over himself and admit that he's not a timeline expert. You can't have an impeachment and not be a timeline expert. And you can't have an impeachment based on
Democrats
wiring.
did that for twice.
Yeah.
You got to move on, Jessica. I don't want to cut you off.
I am
but in a way, I
I'm
do.
so
All right, here we
annoying,
go.
yeah.
Up next, Joe Biden's dog chomping down on another Secret Service agent.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.